Qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. 20% plan savings on 2 lines. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Mus, and it's football night, and that means it's Carboni's Pizza Night. Listen, we all have that family member or friend that always talks while the game is on. Well, get Carboni's Pizza. It's so delicious. The Talkie Talkerson over there will be too busy enjoying Carboni's Pizza to be able to chew your ear off. Carboni's Pizza can save your football nights. Tons of Twin Cities locations and a handful in western Wisconsin. Carboni's Pizza. Pizza the whole family loves since 1954.
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Golden Charmin. Goes last long. It's TP Gold, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rows in one. Lasts forever on my buns. Only Super Mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Vikings postgame coverage continues now with Vikings Overtime on FM 100.3 KFAN and the Fan Radio Network. Vikings Overtime is presented by Profile by Sanford, Comcast, and by TimberTech. Now with more postgame coverage of today's Vikings game, here's the fans, Eric Nordquist, AJ Mansour, and Paul Lambert.
What's happening, sports fans? It is Vikings Overtime on a Sunday afternoon. It's now Sunday night, basically, because it gets dark in Minnesota at like 2 in the afternoon. But your Minnesota Vikings are victorious 28-27. They moved to 5-6. And for those of you keeping score at home, they are a game out of a playoff spot. They are a game out of a playoff spot, if you heard that correct. And they will most likely get to that because the three of us, with AJ and all the weight he's lost, could be the running back, and we could block for him. The three of us could beat Jacksonville. That's how bad they are. But it was a perfect game for a lot of things. Teddy Bridgewater is awful. Teddy Bridgewater played so bad, and the coaching for them was so bad. Pete said it with like 11 minutes left in the game. He goes, why do they keep stopping the clock? Every time the Panthers had the ball, it was just weird play calling. Yeah. And I know that I like to do, there's a lot of big ifs, but if it's the exact opposite and Mike Zimmer has Kirk throwing on 3rd down into the end zone where all you got to do is like run the ball once, kick the field goal, and let like 70 seconds run off the clock, I bet he's fired. That's a fireable offense if that's on a first-year head coach. Carolina is awful in their play call. They gave the Vikings this victory, and then it was just weird. Like the Vikings, at one point when they were down, there was no hurry-up offense. They just kind of olayed their way into that game. It's just a weird game, but they won, man. And Kirk Cousins looked really well in that final drive. What was he, 6 for 7 for 75 yards?
Yeah, the game play, the way that it played out felt, and this is going to sound preposterous, I'll probably get nominated for PST, but the way that it felt out with the Vikings getting off to a quick start and then the wheels completely falling off and then fighting your way back in only to blow it again and then fight your way back into it again and get the BB touchdown. It felt like the Minneapolis Miracle game where they got off to that big lead. They let it slip. They gained control of it again, only to let it go. And then ultimately it was Minneapolis Miracle. You know, BB got this touchdown. No fans in the stands, didn't really feel like it. The teams don't really matter. Neither of them really have a great shot at making the playoffs. He mentioned the playoff race and what that's looking like right now. They're a game out of the 7-team playoff race. The potential for that expanded 8-team bid, if there's a week 18, that weird scenario due to COVID, he's not even factoring that in. So the normal expansion of the 7-team playoff is the one that they're a game out of. But you did look at that graphic. I don't know if you saw it. They had it on TV. It kind of made its way to Twitter. There's like 9 teams that are in that wild card hunt right now. Only 3 of them are going to make it. So you really do have to kind of play not perfect football, but perfect as far as no more losses the rest of the way, Nardo. Yeah.
But just looking at this, I mean, it's just so weird. Both these teams, and the Carolina Panthers had to do most of 2020 without McCaffrey. Now, but I've watched them. I mean, the way that they were using Mike Davis, and then they were bringing in some Cannon Cat, and then Rodney Smith, Scotty Lamont, former Gopher. I thought that they were just going to try and run all over us today, but they weren't very successful doing it. And likewise, this looked like, to me, one of those ideal matchups with all those rookies. I mean, the way that teams have kind of feasted on the lack of experience of our defense, I thought this was an opportunity for Dalvin, who's had one hell of a season so far, to maybe top all of that with one of those blowout games today. And but they held him in check. It was impressive, and a lot of that goes to, I think, the inadequacy on our offensive line again. Our offensive line has looked formidable and confident with Ezra Cleveland at that right guard spot.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Riley Reif has done a good job keeping Kirk's backside clean. Weird to say it like that. Brian O'Neill, pretty good. I was watching Garrett Bradbury getting blown off the ball a ton today.
Yeah, Ben mentioned that too.
The interior of the offensive line, I thought, was quite frankly pitiful. And so getting a bad Dalvin day, I'd never want to see in the box score Kirk Cousins throwing it 45 times.
Right.
But the type of season that he's had, for anybody, including myself, that in some ways have been down on him, the reality is Kirk is the best QB in the NFL in the fourth quarter in 2020. That final drive secured it. The embarrassing nature of Matt Rule, and you touched on it, Saucy, with the play calling at the end there, not running the ball, not forcing down the clock. And Teddy made a couple of throws there on those final two possessions that his players just straight up dropped. And so Teddy wasn't getting a lot of help at times from some of his receivers, but Teddy also wasn't great today. But I was so worried, I think it's Joey Sly. Is that the cat's name?
Yeah.
I could have just in a jokingly, the cliche that we offer up on the fan, too much time for Teddy. I thought that he was going to hit that field goal. That's just the way that it felt.
Right.
I mean, just the Jeremy Chin fumble recoveries on consecutive, or the touchdowns on consecutive offensive plays. Just everything went wrong, and then everything went right. And Chad Beebe went from villain to hero in very short order. So congratulations to him.
Yep.
I'm excited about it, playoff race or otherwise. They are in the mix. I think the Bears are a spot ahead of them at this point technically, but they're going to continue to lose starting tonight against the hated foes to the east. And so beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and then go down to Tampa and compete with a completely discombobulated Bucs team.
Who looked terrible. Brady just threw a pick.
He did again?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. They're getting mastered by the Chiefs right now. So nothing's out of the question. I'm watching any team with the Saints on the road today. Any team that has a quarterback, they're in Denver right now. Taysom Hill and the Saints. If they have a quarterback, they're beating that terrible.
Taysom Hill's terrible.
Correct.
Terrible.
And so now you look at that, and that's week 16. That's Christmas. You still get a game against Detroit and the Bears. So
who have lost their head coach, and there's probably more to come.
But
there's an opportunity to feast potentially.
There is, but you have to understand that this team can't take that mentality against anybody, because everybody takes that mentality against this team.
Well, and this team
Taysom
lost
Hill
to the Cowboys, who are one of the worst teams I've ever seen play football.
No. My point merely is they're not going to walk into any game saying it's easy.
Sure.
I'm just saying moving forward that the schedule offers up opportunities for the team to be successful.
Once looked a lot tougher than it does now.
But every team that we're facing has the ability to do what the Cowboys did to us last weekend, because we are not infallible.
Right.
We are not perfect. And we have some floppability to us, to be completely honest. So, but it's going to be fun. I'm just happy that they're still in the mix at this stage of the season after one of the more annoying losses I've watched in recent times with Dallas.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But how great would it be if we had a coaching staff like the Chiefs? They're up 17 points, and they're lining up 5 wide and throwing it downfield.
That's just what they do.
I love that.
Right?
It's a video game.
I love it, man. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has 400 and something yards already. He had 300 in the first half. They're fun to watch, man, but that's not who we are playing. But you have a bit you want to throw it to?
Yeah, I've always said that the fan needs
more Rosen,
more Mark Rosen. So there's a program. So after the game, exchanging pleasantries with everybody in the radio booth, and just waiting, use the restroom, head here for Vikings overtime. And I hear the beginning of it. It's Vikings post-game live. And they do this bit not only at US Bank Stadium, you can watch it and see it, but you can hear it and watch it and review it and love it on Vikings.com. So Vikings post-game live, I had our guy Brett snip a few minutes of it. It's Rosie and Pete Bursich. Let's just listen to that.
And welcome to Vikings Post-Game Live, presented by Mystic Lake. Wow. That's all I got to say is, wow. There's the final score of the Vikings beating the Panthers 28-27. One of the wildest finishes we've seen around here. Inexplicably how the Minnesota Vikings won this football game, but credit Kirk Cousins, credit that offense in that last minute drive. And Chad Beebe, how was your day,
Great.
Bursich? I mean, my goodness, from goat to hero in a span of a couple of minutes, really. And so much to unpack today, but for the Vikings, the turnovers looked like they had killed them early in the second half. And yet they found a way against this Carolina team.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, you have 2 turnovers. You give up 2 touchdowns on offense in 10 seconds. I mean, so that's a bad stretch. You got to eliminate those kinds of things. But you do some things. Chad Beebe. What a great story. I mean, he muffs a punt. He goes from just at the absolute bottom to hanging in there. And that's what life is right now, what happens to you, but how you react to it. He hangs in there, comes up with a couple catches on that last drive, and then finally scores the touchdown. What a great job by they just never gave up. They hung in there and kept fighting. Carolina, by their play calling and through their play calling, did a lot to help us stay in track. But, Vikings hung in there, man. What a great day.
Yeah, 27-21. Here's the final drive, 1:40 to go, and then some. And he did everything right, keeping the ball out of bounds.
He did. Carolina chose to only rush 3, and then you give Cousins the opportunity to sit and feel comfortable in the pocket. He's going to do this to you. Cousins is an unbelievably accurate thrower if you give him time, and they did.
There's Chad Beebe as they worked their way downfield. They didn't have any timeouts, but they had plenty of time left on the clock.
No, you're absolutely right, and that was the killer right there. You got a defensive pass interference or illegal contact on Rudolph, still gets us to the 10-yard line. And then, bam, Beebe on the high. He has the in and the out, and just he's such a good underneath wiggle type runner. But I mean, what can you say for a young man who felt so low, and then now you turn around and you come back and you catch the winning touchdown. So 7 receptions, 63 yards. We were wondering who was going to step up with Adam Thielen being out. I think Chad Beebe and Olabisi Johnson both did a very, very good job when their numbers were called on and moving the chains, making the big catches.
And getting back to that winning touchdown pass to Chad Beebe, you expect to see a Kyle Rudolph in the back of the end zone, a big target like Kyle, because Kirk put enough air on the ball where Beebe was only going to catch it or no one was going to catch it, but I didn't expect the smallest player on the field to be the guy that he ends up throwing to.
Yeah, he might be the smallest in stature, but he's the shiftiest. You get him one-on-one in space, he's going to be able to get himself open. And, for Kyle Rudolph, you have to understand they spent most of his energy getting down to the end zone. And inexplicably, we had, 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go and no timeouts that the Carolina Panthers were generous enough to give to us. And Rudolph did a lot of that heavy lifting down the field, the big body target underneath. And 2-man, they went to Kyle Rudolph. So Kyle Rudolph, as you get into that red zone, he's out of gas a little bit.
So that is Vikings postgame live with Rosie and Pete Bursich.
Rosie.
You can check out the latest one because
it's so good.
The hero, who at one point was the villain, the muff, Chad Beebe. We can't find apparently anybody just to reliably catch and secure punts. He's currently a free agent.
Yeah.
I assume, Rochester's own. He's local. So
why can't he do it?
Come back here.
And as much as I love Marcus Sherrills too, remember the last punt that he took as a member of the Vikings?
They brought him back. Yeah, absolutely.
He muffed it in the Niners game.
Oh, yeah.
So KJ Osborne inactive today, Beebe, but you'll get to hear from him as he redeems himself with the game-winning touchdown as part of Vikings postgame live, and then more analysis from Pete Bursich, another A+ call from him today. So I just thought I was listening to it as I was leaving US Bank Stadium, some of it today. But Vikings post-game live, you can catch it on Vikings.com. It's pretty sweet. So, and after a win like this, it requires a lot of soaking in of extra content.
Right. I mean, the roller coaster that it takes you as far as emotions go. Like we've mentioned, Paul mentioned it for the sense of a team that nobody really cares about because they're not going to go anywhere. Nordo, you're talking about how they continue to remain relevant at this point in the season when we thought that it was going to get here and nobody was going to care about it. The fact that they're still doing this doesn't give you hope that they're going to make a deep playoff run, but the fact that games still matter, you can still make a push for the playoffs, and you do see glimpses of things for the future. I think Justin Jefferson continues to be a shining light, gigantic shining light on this team. More than 900 yards receiving on the season. What's he up to? 6 touchdowns now with another 2 today.
Oh yeah, he does have 6 now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's having a stellar year in it, and he did it in a game without Adam Thielen there. What we thought going into today was Thielen was going to be out. All the attention was then going to be on Justin Jefferson, and he still found a way to do that. Kirk found a way to spread the ball around. Ron mentioned it a bunch of times. There are like 7 or 8 guys that Kirk threw the ball to today, including Brandon Dillon, his first catch of the year. Chad Beebe, his first career. Chad Beebe, his first touchdown of his career. BC Johnson got involved. All these guys that we've heard their names most of the time in training camp, who came into today's game and needed to play. Kyle Rudolph played a big role in that final drive. And Kirk, how can we not talk about Kirk and what he did that final drive, the fourth quarter, like you mentioned, for the last month now? It gave you something to feel good about for the first time in a while.
Yeah, and it was out of necessity, obviously, but Kirk over the last month has just, part of it was if Dalvin's running for $160 a game, then what was it? It was Lambeau. One of them he threw it like 14 times.
I think it's the Lambeau 3 touchdowns for Dalvin.
So not the toughest work in a couple of those games, but he's not giving it to the other team. 303 today, and BC just showing a pulse. No, I was kind of disappointed, and I don't know what the status, but I was hoping if Irv was able to play today, maybe he's running more wide receiver like routes and just kind of see how that went. But Kyle doing his thing and requiring people to step up. So, but Justin Jefferson is clearly a budding star. And on a day when Dalvin wasn't good enough, not out of his own volition, but the inability to just get some interior space, as bad as that O-line looked from my standpoint today, Kirk was awesome. So good for him.
Well, what is it, Anthony Brown, the guy they have in the middle?
Is it Derek Brown, maybe?
That guy. He's so good, man.
He is, yeah.
And we all talked about it when the Gophers played them last year, which seems like a decade ago, in that the whatever bowl game that was. They shut him down.
Yeah, Outback Bowl.
Yeah, the Gophers manhandled him, and everybody thought, well, he would just destroy that offensive line, and people gave him credit for playing in that bowl game. But here we are, and he smacked around that Vikings offensive line a lot in this game. The other thing, too, though, that I like with this team is there is a lot of, you saw in this game where they could have easily, like a lot of teams are doing, i.e. the Cowboys, i.e. a lot of these teams that are horrible are doing. After those 2 defensive touchdowns in 10 seconds, you could easily have thrown the towel in and just gone, this isn't our day. And it looked like they did for a while. Kirk, they're running, they should be in hurry up. They're not running hurry up. Kirk can't get a pass down. And then all of a sudden, they kind of found a spark and they won the football game, man. They didn't think when they punted and BB muffed that punt, that whole sideline, and I wasn't there, but I'm sure it was a giant, what the F? Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
We've done everything we have to get the ball back. And then you olay that punt, and then they get their chance because Matt Rule is the worst play caller in football history.
Yeah, I couldn't believe now 2 of the plays, one of them was just an awful drop.
One more thing. Why are you throwing at any point in that before the punt? Why are you throwing? Why are you throwing at all?
I think they may have handed it off once to get to the 2-minute warning. I think it was Mike Davis with the run.
They didn't get to the 2-minute
Vikings
warning.
ball at the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, because remember they had it and they threw it, and Pete's going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
and
Minnesota ran one play,
and then they threw it again.
Yeah,
threw it again.
It was Mike Davis on 1st and goal that got him to the 2-minute warning. Then it was Mike Davis for 2 yards. We called a timeout. Then he tried to throw it to DJ Moore in
And
the end
broke
zone.
his legs. That
And-
guy.
I'm sorry, you're talking after the punt. Yep.
Yeah, he twisted around. It looked like maybe some non-contact thing. That's not going to be good for them. Yeah, the play calling on that side of things was weird, man. But they were like us a lot today. They couldn't run the ball as well as they wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's with Teddy.
That's their bread and butter.
With Teddy, if Teddy's ever going to be successful in the NFL, he needs to have the type of offense that he did and has had at times with the Panthers so far, but the ability to run the ball like hell, and then those 5-yard passes to Robbie Anderson or DJ Moore or Curtis Samuel turn into 30-yard.
Sure.
And we saw him, I think it was DJ Moore actually, who split Anthony Harris and Harrison Smith. More miscommunication on the back end with his secondary. And Teddy, God bless him, I adore Teddy, overthrew a clear touchdown.
How many times, though, at Vikings games in the past have the three of us been sitting in the radio booth and he's been our quarterback and you're going, he's wide open. And it's just airmailed over.
Right.
I mean, that was the big knock on him.
I
When
picture
they played,
one against the Bears when he overthrew. Cordero was clear by 10 yards.
Wasn't there one at TCF Bank Stadium where somebody, it may have been the guy that went on to play in Carolina.
Zylstra?
No.
Jerry is right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wright was like wide open and he missed him.
Let's just say there's been more than one.
Well, right. And that was the thing against
Yeah.
Teddy that was the thing coming out of the draft is he didn't have the arm strength to get it downfield. And then it was like during this game, it almost was like him and Rule were like, we're going to show you. We can throw downfield. And he airmailed him you could have handed it to him. That was so badly airmailed. I don't know if Andre the Giant would have caught that.
So I'll say this. You said Teddy was horrible today. I don't think he was awful today. I mean, they went on a stretch where they had like 3 straight drives of 11 plays. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were converting the first downs, but I think we made our money with the pick that Kendricks, which was a hideous throw.
That was hideous.
But then the blocked field goal. I mean, you think about
I was just like those.
I forgot about that.
Those 2 potential red zone and scoring opportunities were 2 of the biggest plays today. Was it DJ Wanham that blocked?
DJ Wanham, yeah.
I mean, just unbelievable moments from him in not a lot of playing time, and then Kendricks. What else is there to say about him? So they were really good in between the 20s, and then as soon as it kind of got squeezed in, the Vikings made a couple of plays. So I love Teddy, and so. I was happy to see him today, but I'm also happy we got the result we needed.
Right. Can I set up that DJ Wanham field goal block a little bit more? Because I do believe that was like the turning point of the game at that point. Because Paul mentioned it was coming off the back-to-back defensive touchdowns. Okay. Not only did the game completely flip, like you got a field goal before halftime, so you're up 10-7. You get the ball in the second half, and you come out and you have the strip sack for a fumble, return for a touchdown, and then you have the Dalvin Cook back-to-back plays in the span of 10 seconds. You go from up 3 with the ball, feeling pretty good about yourself, to down, a couple scores,
and then you punt after that.
And then
that second touchdown.
Throw in the mix there too the dejected nature of not knowing what's up with Dalvin Cook.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Dalvin fumbles that ball, they get the touchdown, and Dalvin goes into the blue tent. Everyone thought he was done. I mean, there's the way he
done.
The way he limped off, his injury history, all these things started coming up to everybody's mind. And the team, it wasn't like the fans were there and it went from a fever pitch down to just you could hear the crickets in the rafters because there were no fans there. So that attitude didn't change, but you could just tell the team wasn't feeling it. They go on to punt and give the ball back for another one of those longer drives to the Panthers, and DJ Wanham blocks that field goal. Okay, subsequent drive for the Vikings only resulted in a field goal, but got them going again. It got them to a point where Dalvin could get back on the field. Maybe you feel a little bit better there. Kirk starts to feel his rhythm a little bit. You get down into scoring position, get that field goal, and get back within a 1-score game. Give yourself a chance. Now, what happened after that is subsequently, you talked about the coaching plays and the decision to do that, the way that the Vikings got up, but then let them back in, and then they missed the field goal. All that factors in, but that blocked field goal was the emotional turning point for a team that was dejected and about ready to quit to get back in this thing and note that they had to keep going.
Yeah, I know we're going to pause here. The one thing for me and my final takeaway, at least in terms of that defense and such, is the defense gave up 13 points today.
Right.
After massive mistakes with the Tony Pollard run, just some stupid things that we saw against the Cowboys a week ago.
Well, and the one touchdown take 7 more points off that because it was Afadi Adenabo covering the fastest guy maybe in the NFL.
That was weird.
Yeah, and some tight end blocked our DB like
Right, I
8
mean,
yards into the end zone. It was
Well, that
ridiculous.
DB was not looking the entire way either.
No, he had no chance.
I don't know if it was Chris Boyd or who was, but
So
sorry.
they gave up 13 points
Right.
today after getting their asses kicked a week ago. That's positive.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they're just
No, stop being so negative.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not that good.
They won,
Barely. They shouldn't have beat this team.
but they
They
won.
tried everything they
should have
could to
lost.
lose.
They should
They
have.
Sure did.
tried everything
Sure
they
did.
could.
Yeah, I mean, well, and then when Kirk got whatever it was, the first or the second one, it looked like Kirk just handed the ball to the defensive back.
I think he did.
Here you go.
I think he did. I
Yeah.
said,
We'll come back. We'll talk
Closed
more
his
about the
eyes before
Vikings.
he
I'll
got
be
hit.
negative. They'll be positive about a team that all of us wanted to lose 2 weeks ago.
hey, it's Nordo for Profile by Sanford. AJ, you look fantastic. How's the weight loss journey going?
It's gone great. It's something that has been difficult for me in the past, but Profile has taken the guesswork out of it and helped me along the way.
The food's good. The program's unbelievable, but working with the coaches, that's awesome as well.
That's right. Whether you have an up week or a down week, they guide you the entire way, and ultimately it will work for you.
Why don't you guide yourself to profileplan.com? 14 awesome locations in Minnesota. Learn more about the program and how you can make a lifestyle change. Profileplan.com. It's profileplan.com.
It's Paul Allen. Know what the legendary Purple People Eaters and TimberTech decking have in common? A dominating defense. TimberTech has the durability to hold up against Minnesota weather for decades. Not only will it not rot, warp, or splinter like conventional wood, it looks more like wood than any composite brand. And with up to a 50-year warranty, you're protected season after season. Start designing the deck you've always wanted at timbertech.com. Better tech, better deck. TimberTech, go against the grain.
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place, right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
If there's one thing everybody really needs right now, it's reliable home internet. But no one needs any of the hassles that usually come along with it. That's why T-Mobile is bringing you a new choice for high-speed home internet without annual service contracts or data caps. With T-Mobile home internet, you get a fast and reliable connection for just $50 a month with autopay, with no hidden fees and no price hikes. That's right, just $50 a month. That's all it takes for you to get back to work or school or your favorite show so you can do what you need to online. And get this, T-Mobile home internet is super simple to set up. You can have it up and running in minutes. Plus, we offer 24/7 live technical support so you can chat with a real person if you need anything. What are you waiting for, Minnesota? Get hassle-free home internet from T-Mobile today. Sign up at T-Mobile.com/home internet. That's T-Mobile.com/home internet.
During congestion, home internet customers may notice speeds lower than other customers due to data prioritization. Coverage is not available in all areas. Qualifying account and credit required. Sales tax and regulatory fees included in monthly price for eligible accounts. $5 more per month without autopay. See Grip for details.
Home Wi-Fi working overtime? With Amazon Eero, you can say goodbye to dead spots and buffering. Stay connected with Wi-Fi that works from home, too. Get 20% off. Select Eero systems now, U.S. and Canada only, while supplies last. Offer ends November 30th. Visit Eero.com, EERO.com for details.
News Nation has the stories.
The mission of our storytelling is to bring you balance, not bias.
News Nation is your news. Every hour in prime time, every night at 8/7 Central on WGN America. Check your cable or satellite listings.
Bet River Sportsbook is ready to make this football season one to remember. All season score at Bet River Sportsbook with free bets, odds boosts, and more. Player props, thousands of game lines, and live in-game betting. Bet River Sportsbook delivers best-in-class sports betting experiences with outstanding customer service to back it up. Go to BetRivers.com. And if you reside in a non-regulated state, then BetRivers.net has action for you. Bet Rivers, your hometown sportsbook. Must be 21, must be present in Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, or Pennsylvania to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man.
Carolers! That's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 50% off the new system and a free camera at simplysafe.com/holiday. That's 50% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. Simply Safe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to simplysafe.com/holiday for 50% off and a free camera today.
From the Bryant Heating and Cooling Studios, this is FM 100.3 KFAN. The Fan, your radio home for Vikings football. Oh my God! FM 100.3 KFAN.
This is a 28-yard try right hash to the west side of U.S. Bank Stadium. Snap, good spot down, and blocked. Yes, we did something well. Sly's kick is blocked. We have blocked kicks in successive weeks, and some positivity for the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey, we all love NFL football on this station, but that's a pretty weak roughing the passer penalty against Patrick Mahomes.
They gave him a roughing the passer.
That was
on
roughing
pick
the passer
right there on 3rd and 17.
Yeah, it was roughing the passer. Bruce Arians is gonna his head's gonna pop off. Jason Pierre-Paul with his 8.5 fingers makes a great play, and they called a roughing the passer penalty. And
that's awful.
Yeah, whatever. The roughing the passer penalty. Somebody, I don't know where I heard this. I think it might have been ESPN. Now they're going to make up for it and call a bad holding penalty, but I forgot. It may have been this morning. They should review everything. You should same amount of reviews, but you should be able to review everything.
But didn't they do that with the pass interference bit? Was it last year or the year before?
Well, it was right
last
after
year.
and
they got rid
the
of it
Rams got jobbed. Or was it the Saints? The Saints got jobbed.
Like there's a very low percentage of overturned calls, but it was the reason that was the case was because they kind of left this gray area of the opinion or the judgment call.
Well, it's subjective.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Like if you're trying to review pass interference and you just look at every route run, every pass completed,
you could call it on every play.
How big was the tug of the jersey and the hand, and you're trying to monitor, and I think the part of the review process, by the way, I think they had to watch it at full speed or something.
Oh, really?
And so
that you don't. Oh, okay.
Kind of the idea is versus nitpicking in slow motion, the ability to understand the impact of it at full speed. I mean, it was ineffective. And as a matter of fact, given what happened to Dalvin Cook in the end zone with the OPI, as the touchdown has been called, and they go back and review it and claim that there was offensive pass interference. I think it was a pick play or a rub route or something like that.
Didn't the exact same thing happen in the Dallas game to us?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Like
it's possible, but the point is you saw more instances of that where everyone was just kind of left going, "Huh?"
Right.
Than you did actually going, "Man, I'm sure glad we got that rule in place." So, but I agree. I mean, the roughing the passer is another subjective element to it as well. So, you can hit someone if you hit someone in the helmet, technically, I think that's roughing the passer.
Well, they're making up for it now because they've called like 2 straight holding penalties on them. But your Vikings win 28-27. They improved to 5-6. They've won 4 of 5, and they get basically a gimme next week. They open up as 9.5-point favorites against Jacksonville. So that's a huge point spread.
I'm pretty sure
Jacksonville keeps every game close.
And Gardner Minshew is going to be back, I believe.
Or is it? Well, did Glennon start for him today?
Les Glennon did not start today.
No, Les Glennon, the traffic guy.
Mike Glennon played today.
I'm pretty sure Gardner Minshew is going to be back next week.
Yeah, haven't they moved on from him?
It doesn't matter.
Sure they did, and then it was worse behind him. And
they
then
tried Luton.
Yeah.
Jake Luton's not any good.
But anyhow, they're 9.5-point favorites. They should win. They're favored to win by a lot of points at home.
No, they should beat the Jaguars.
Should. But as you said, you're right. I mean, they were a 2-point conversion away from tying the Browns. They should have beat the Packers.
If you watch their games, it's a mess.
Yeah.
But they find a way to
and
be
that defense man's got a couple of good players on it.
Yeah, they got
can't name one.
Didn't they? Well, okay.
Josh Allen.
They got Josh Allen,
who's a stud.
They should still have Miles Jack.
Yeah.
They drafted that Florida kid, C.J. Henderson. I don't know if he's any good at the corner spot.
Last charge.
Yeah. Well, he's watched at least 2.5 minutes of highlights, so he's a big fan. And then is it Kayvon Chason, the LSU kid?
Let's go with it. Yeah.
And so they got playmakers, but they're just not great. So
yeah, but they're
going to keep it close.
They're going to keep it close.
And as you guys keep reminding me, we're not that great either. So I guess it's going to be a close game.
I mean,
we're not great.
No.
We got some issues.
Who knows what's going to be up with Adam Thielen? I mean,
Well, ask Ron. Did you hear that?
No.
We'll talk about that off the air.
Okay.
Well, so they lost.
Hopefully he returns.
This is the beauty of the Vikings, though. They lost that game to the Seahawks by 1 point. Then they come back at the time an 0-5 or 0-6 Falcons team, and they get destroyed. Then they go and win 3 straight versus the Packers. They're good. Lions,
it was
terrible.
a winless Falcons team.
The Bears, terrible.
Yeah.
Then they lose to the Cowboys, who are horrid, and they beat the Panthers. So, I mean, the only big win they have is the Packers. Every other team they beat is a below 500 football team.
Did that momentarily screw up anybody else's Thanksgiving when they're watching McCarthy calling fake punts with like end arounds happening in their own territory?
I didn't even watch it.
I mean, did that momentarily just like, I don't know if I'm the only one that felt it.
I was
like
busy having my second meal.
We lost to this team.
When I saw the score, it did tick me off a little bit just to say like, wow, like, so Dallas, I thought maybe, hey, they had a little spark and they're going to start this little run, but then they go and get whooped by the Washington football team.
Now, in fairness, I like DJ Wanham. He's making some plays. Chase Young in that defensive front. I mean, that's like varsity to 8th grade football from what they offer defensively up front versus what the Vikings are trotting out there every day. So it's a different thing, and they lost Zach Martin, I think, with a calf, and they lost Cam Irving. Yeah.
But here's the other thing.
So, but we just shouldn't have lost that game. We just shouldn't have.
So the Vikings have to face the Jags, who they're 9.5 point favorites, then Tampa.
Yeah.
Okay, Tampa will be tough because Tampa's going to try and make a comeback here. Tampa should be tough.
They're going to be in a meat
because Tampa can line them up 4 or 5 wide and make us.
And they have a good run defense.
Yeah, correct. They have a great run defense. Then you have Chicago, then you have the Saints, and you have the Lions. If Taysom Hill is starting at quarterback for the Saints, they can win that football game.
They can.
But
that, you talk about defensive lines that give quarterbacks fits.
Good point.
That New Orleans defensive line, they had 8 sacks the other week against Matt Ryan.
Defensively, they're playing a lot better.
That sort of situation scares me because then Kirk starts getting a little tippy toes and hearing voices.
No fans, though.
But I think
that's a huge.
I think all that's week to week, though, because Matt Ryan looked terrible against them last week.
Sure.
They put 40 on the Raiders
Yeah, I think
today.
he only had 1 touchdown, though. I think it was a lot of defense.
Well, it's not Matt Ryan in particular, but they were much better today.
Yep.
And so I think that's all week to week. And I like Zimmer scheming against Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So there's a chance.
Yeah, right.
There's a chance.
Which at the beginning of the season, we didn't think or was there, especially when they were 1-5.
Through 12 weeks of the season, the team is still relevant.
We come back, we'll go around the league and talk about all the things going on with that. Plus, we'll give you an update on the afternoon games. Plus, I'll tell you how awful I am at picking fantasy players.
Hey, it's Nordo for Profile by Sanford. AJ, you look fantastic. How's the weight loss journey going?
It's gone great. It's something that has been difficult for me in the past, but Profile has taken the guesswork out of it and helped me along the way.
The food's good, the program's unbelievable, but working with the coaches, that's awesome as well.
That's right. Whether you have an up week or a down week, they guide you the entire way, and ultimately it will work for you.
Why don't you guide yourself to profileplan.com, 14 awesome locations in Minnesota. Learn more about the program and how you can make a lifestyle change. Profileplan.com. It's profileplan.com.
Dear Wallet, Toyota Black Friday is here. Adventure is RAV4's middle name. Families love the Highlander with seating for up to 8. Haul in the savings on the Tacoma with available 4-wheel drive. And rely on the traction of available all-wheel drive in the Camry. And they all come with our advanced safety system standard. Pack in the value, pack in the safety, and pack in the deals. And you can get it all to go in one sleek package. Toyota Black Friday ends November 30th. See you soon, Toyota. For a limited time, get 1.9% APR for 60 months, plus $500 APR bonus cash on a new 2021 Highlander or Highlander Hybrid during Toyota Black Friday. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
1.9% APR financing for 60 months with $1,748 per $1,000 borrowed on approved credit from Toyota Financial Services. APR bonus cash from Toyota Financial Services on TFS finance contracts only. Must be applied for the transaction. No cash payment will be made to consumer. Does not include taxes, license, title, registration fees, and dealer fees. Does not include college and military rebate. Varies by region. See dealer for details. All friends 11/30/20.
Meet Vikings superfan Rage and Reggie. Before Sleep Number, Reggie wasn't so raging.
Let's go, team.
Now his Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses his movements and automatically adjusts to keep him effortlessly comfortable.
Nice.
Reggie used to have trouble falling asleep.
Okay, big game tomorrow.
Now the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed gently warms his feet to help him fall asleep faster. Now, meet the new Reggie. Don't miss our Black Friday sale. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed and Cyber Monday. Sleep Number, official sleep and wellness partner of the Minnesota Vikings.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like Liz and Mike, an Army family who's always at the ready. So when Liz's ultrasound showed twins, hold on, 2 babies? They didn't panic. They acted fast and got a bigger car for their soon-to-be bigger family. After shopping around for auto insurance, they knew USAA was the way to go. Our agents quickly understood their needs and made it simple to get coverage on their new car. They even found Liz and Mike some savings to keep it all within budget.
That was the easy part.
USAA insurance is made the way Liz and Mike need it. Easy. So they can save for whatever surprise comes next. Explore all the ways we're helping our members save. Get a quote today at USAA.com/auto. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. Ability to receive a quote depends on membership eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Most people know that Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls, but did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Smithbrook, Illinois.
Your home for all things purple.
Galvin 10-5! Touchdown!
FM 100.3 KFAN. The Fan.
It's just improbable to be able to pull this thing off and to even be in this position in the first place. So let's capitalize on it. I'd love to see BB be the guy to catch this touchdown.
2 receivers left and right. Cousins, back to pass. Fires to the end zone! Yes! Touchdown, Vikings! Chad Beebe! Well done! Your first National Football League touchdown has made everybody forget about the muff, and it's tied the game at 27. Chad Beebe!
Your Minnesota Vikings get the victory 28-27 thanks to Chad Beebe and that great catch that he made in the end zone. He was basically wide open, but still a good catch. Your Minnesota Vikings improve now to 5-6, and as weird as it is in a weird year that we're all living, they're a game out of a playoff spot. 1 game out of a playoff spot.
Let's go.
Which Tampa losing today also helps your Minnesota Vikings, and that's a whole different story. You guys want to go around the league, or you want to talk more about the Vikings?
Let's go around the league.
How about this?
How's your fantasy team doing, Paul?
My fantasy team's doing okay. It's my Charge Challenge problem that I have. Daniel Jones threw for 167 yards in the first half. This is how bad he is. It's the most he's thrown for in a half in his career. Then, like an idiot, he runs around the edge, pulls his hamstring, and then the dumbass comes back in and he can't stand. And then we get news earlier today. I thought it was going to be the greatest day of my fantasy life, that Jalen Hurts is basically going to run first-team offense, and Carson Wentz is going to get like 2 points. I go, here I go. I don't have to stand on a stupid billboard saying, don't get gonorrhea like Chris Hockey and I did.
Because Carson Wentz is the ghost.
He is the ghost. And then stupid Phillip Rivers throws 2 touchdowns, and my guy can't get on the field. Ugh. I thought I was so sneaky with taking. I'm just stupid. I'm bad at who cares? It'll be funny.
But the Giants won the game.
The Giants won the game 19.
And
they've won
lead
3 straight, man.
Yeah.
And if you're the Giants and a Giants fan, you're going, wait, I thought we were tanking for another quarterback, but they've won 3 straight and they lead
without Saquon.
Right, correct. They lead the NFC East. Falcons 43, Raiders 6. The Raiders are now 6-5. They've lost 2 straight. And the Falcons dominated. That defense just dominated that Raiders team. That Raiders team's so weird. How one week they're super good, then the next week they're not good. Mike Evans just caught a touchdown, but it looks like there's a flag on the play. We'll get to that later. Bills 27, Chargers 17, Herbert 316 and a touchdown. Josh Allen got hurt but came back in, but still, he only threw 1 touchdown in the game.
He did run for 1 though.
Oh yeah, and he did that.
So that is a touchdown for Evans, by the way. Defensive penalty.
Oh, it was. Wow, good for
Yeah.
him. He's lighting up. 1 week too short. Could have had that 2 weeks ago. Ugh. Where were we now? How about this? Titans 45, Colts 26. Somebody brilliantly pointed out on Twitter that the day after Thanksgiving, it's not Christmas season. It's Derrick Henry season.
Right.
178 yards and 3 touchdowns. He could have had 4, but Tannehill took the end around and ran it in.
Well, in this game was a much bigger blowout. I mean, the final score is not fully requisite of what it was.
Because they basically went into...
They pulled the reins back, yeah.
But they went into like prevent and Rivers threw for a bunch of yards. But still, great victory by the Titans, who are 8-3, and the Colts are 7-4. How about this? Patriots 20, Cardinals 17. Is it Nick Folk? Is that his name? The field goal kicker?
Sure. Yeah.
Kicks the game winner with seconds left. Kyler Murray, 23 of 34, 170 yards, no touchdowns.
Right.
1 interception.
He's got to be his baddish games. This one was bad. The other one, I think his last game, he made something out of it, but he has a shoulder situation, I think, that maybe
he hurt like a couple weeks ago, right?
And it may
then
just
they had
be more than we're thinking. Yeah.
Kenyon Drake ran for 2 TDs. That doesn't help his cause, but still, how about this, man? Ryan Fitzpatrick gets the start over Tua, who is either hurt or they've benched.
He's got a thumb injury.
Yeah,
You're the Tua expert.
It's a thumb.
Yeah.
Hit it on a helmet in practice.
Fitzpatrick threw 2 touchdowns. Devontae Parker, 119 yards. The Dolphins are 7-4, and they beat the Jets 20-3, who are now 0-11. How is Gase still employed?
I still think it's merely because they don't want to put Greg Williams in charge of anything. There's no reason Gase should still have a job.
No.
Right.
It's terrible. But they'll
have 3 points.
But if you think about, I mean, I guess whether they do it now, it doesn't really matter. They're going to have, they'll have to wait until February probably to pick Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you're Bieniemy, man, wouldn't you go anywhere but there? I mean, you're going to get Trevor Lawrence, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
they got some good young wide receivers.
I mean, if Bieniemy had multiple opportunities, that might be not the first choice.
As we go through this, though,
but you can't. Can you turn down if you've been waiting for a head coaching job for a long time?
And I think that their
the Jets
cap situation is pretty good. Like they could get 1 or 2. I mean, look at how quick the Browns turned things around with player names. With Baker Mayfield. Mayfield goes there. They get some defensive players to come in. They get Odell Beckham Jr. to come in. They quickly turned from a bottom of the dumpster team into a.
They're 8.
It took them a little while to really put it together, but the names on that team turned around really quickly, and now they're starting to actually do something with it. But yeah, I mean, you can get, if you have some money, you have a big name quarterback. They do have some wide receivers, no defense. You can get a running back to come in there. You can get some defensive ends to come in there and help you out pretty quick. Not to say they're going to be competitive next year, but 2 years from now, that could be a good team.
Trevor Lawrence is if he's what everybody thinks he is.
And if you get full control, like if they give a guy like Bieniemy full control to say, do what you did or do what they did, or you did, or whoever did in Kansas City here.
Yeah,
that's attractive.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But the Falcons fired their head coach, right?
Yep.
Anthony Lynn of the Chargers. I don't know if he makes it. I mean, they're 3-8.
Yeah,
they're really bad.
I mean, they've had some injuries, but
the Giants. This is he might make the playoffs, so he's not going to get canned. Matt Rule won't get canned. Adam Gase will most likely be fired. Jacksonville will probably fire their head coach, right? That's another job. The Bears may fire their head coach. That's another job. And I don't know did they have a first round pick this year? Or the Khalil Mack picks up?
The Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's another job that could be open. The Texans already fired their head coach. I mean, there's a lot of teams that
and
could
then
be
in Detroit, yeah.
Right, yeah. And who knows? There are rumors, and and we've seen it before with the Browns head coach. Mike McCarthy could be one and done in Dallas. Like they're so tired of him down there. So and then the Eagles head coach could be canned.
And we're past the Zimmer has anything to worry about stage, right?
Yeah, he's not going to. No, because they might make the playoffs as the 8th seed.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't think there's anything to worry about him.
Well, the Niners just added themselves to that 5-6 bit though with the win over the Rams.
Yeah, they just
they're
beat
right
the Rams.
there. Yeah.
Sorry, Nordo.
Robbie Gould walked off on the Rams. So
yeah.
So that's another 5-6 team in the mix. Yeah, half the conference is going to be fighting for a couple of spots.
That's
crazy.
Saints 31, Broncos 3. I mean, all of you that were so excited about Taysom Hill, but as soon as he put it on tape, 9 of 16 for 78 yards.
Yeah, they were excited about him because they got to hack the fantasy football system.
Yeah, and I lost because of that. Exactly by the
You lost because of the tight end bit? Come on.
The same amount of points that he got was like 26 and a half. I lost by like 26 and 26.6. So whatever. Because but AJ saw me. I tried to do it. So who cares?
I told everybody to do it.
Yeah, I tried to do it, but the
we
guy
were
that
live
I
on
played,
the Power Trip podcast.
yeah. So it is what it is. But the final game going here in the night is Kansas City versus Tampa, and Kansas City's up 27-24. So as we wrap up, we got about 4 minutes left. The Minnesota Vikings get the victory. They get to play Jacksonville next week. That's 3 straight home games. If they do that, they've won, 5 of 6 or 6 of 7? What have they done here? I mean, they've won a decent amount of games, and they're, as we've seen, they're right back in it. They're a game back of a playoff spot, albeit there are a lot of teams, but they're a game back. And other than Tampa and the Saints, they have a very easy schedule going forward. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity is there. You know, they say this phrase that you control your own destiny. If you win out and take care of your business, you should have an opportunity to have one of those spots. I don't know if that's factually true, mathematically true, but it seems to be if they can handle their business, they're going to be able to fight for one of those 3 spots, 3 wildcard spots. And, do I have confidence that they can handle their business on a regular basis? No, I guess not. But it like Nordo said, and he said it when we were cheering for them to tank for Trevor and go winless the rest of the way. It is more fun this time of year when you're actually fighting for something. Even if you have zero hope that it means you're going to get a Super Bowl, just fighting for something, competing at this point makes it more fun to watch this team, to cover this team, and just to be a part of this environment when you're fighting down the stretch.
And how great would the eighth seed versus the 2 seed be, and the 2 seed being the Packers?
Right. I mean, you have opportunities there where you can shock the world with one game in the playoffs.
I just think there's no NFC team that is head and shoulders above the rest elite.
Not consistently.
In the AFC, obviously it's the Chiefs. The Steelers are undefeated.
I mean, the Saints got to give me today,
and the Saints basically got to lay down. I mean, that whoever the kid's name is, Hinton, he was 1 of 9. I mean, with 2 picks,
they tried
13
to
yards
get
passing.
their quality control coach to play quarterback.
How about that?
Because he had a better grasp on the offense.
So, and if the league would have delayed the game tomorrow, apparently the 3 quarterbacks would have been cleared to play. So that's an interesting thing.
Which is weird, because if it's these 2 guys we're currently watching, they delay the game.
Yeah.
If Kansas City has no quarterback, they delay the game.
Well, but then you got to slap down a bad team. There's nothing really on the line, all those things. So they showed their might in following the protocol. But there's no clear favorite in the NFC right now for me. So the idea to be a part of that mix, I think, is a good thing. And my inability to root for the team to lose plays into that as well. I'm worried though. I think, and when it's all said and done, we're going to be looking back at that Cowboys loss. We're going to be looking back at 4th and 1, not being able to convert in Seattle,
Tennessee,
Atlanta,
and we might have some consternation.
Right.
That's just the way it feels right now. But all that we can do is look in front of us, and it's Jacksonville, and just go beat a bad team.
What do we have on KFAN.com, AJ?
All sorts of coverage. We got the audio from the post game, the highlight reel that we put out with PA's calls, so you can see the play, but also hear PA. That's always been a popular thing. And then a bunch of analysis as well.
Nordo, what do you guys got tomorrow, 9 to noon?
Yeah, we're montaging. We should have Pete Bursich in the mix some way, somehow, recapping the win and looking forward to Jacksonville.
All right, thank you very much. Vikings win. They win barely, but they do win. And that final score, hold on here, I just had it, is 28-27 over the Panthers. They improved to 5-6. They're a game out of a playoff spot. They take on the awful Jacksonville Jags next week, and the Vikings are 9.5-point favorites. We will do overtime after that game. Pregame at 10 a.m., game time at noon. Vikings versus Jacksonville. Thank you to AJ. Thank you to Brett. Thank you to Nordo. I'm Meat Sauce. Bye.